to be grateful for today. Grateful for our composer in residence, Tom Parente. Grateful for the fabulous musicians, and especially grateful today for all ages being here in the sanctuary. You make this place feel alive. Thank you for your presence. So I have a spiritual practice that reminds me of the story we heard and also of what this time of year means to me. My spiritual practice is to encourage myself. Every new person I meet and everyone that I know already but I meet again for another time, I do my best to try and spend enough time with them in their presence, really in their presence, so that truth can move between us. That's my spiritual practice, to give us enough time so that I'm not just seeing you from the outside, but actually know what's going on the inside before I push you away or move on to something else. Because you know how easy it is to just do that. So I see myself in every single one of the characters in this story. Odd, right? But when I look at it deeper, I can see myself in every single one of the characters in the story. There are times when I'm a thief, when I just want to take something from someone and not know them for their wholeness, when I'm too busy to give them the time that it takes for me to get to know them. Or perhaps we can all take things, we can all be thieves when we don't pay attention to the privileges we have, when we move through the world unaware of the gifts that we've been given, and we just take more before giving to somebody else. I've been a thief. I've been someone that has pushed someone away because I was afraid. Maybe I didn't feel like I had enough time for them. Or maybe they were scary to me. Maybe somebody had taught me to fear them. There have been times when I've pushed people away. And there are times when I've been searching for home, and I hope there are times when I've helped to create that space of home for others. I received the most beautiful picture today of our congregation. This is by Julia Showalter. Julia drew a picture of our congregation with a big, bright door that is calling people to come here and find home. And there are some people here that are coming to make this place home. And one of the things I noticed is that these people don't all look the same. They have different colors of skin. And Julia drew this picture here to say all are welcome to this congregation. There are times I know when we are all that person as well in the story, looking for home and creating a home for people to come to. So, I shared a little bit about how sometimes the stories we tell ourselves about other people, our memories perhaps of other people being frightening or scary, they might cause us to push people away. Here's a quote from the students at the Jewish Theological Seminary in New York, and they wrote this for us to share about how their memory sometimes gets caught up on fear and difference. They share, "My memory fails me. Things happened. We both experienced them. You saw them your way, colored by experiences in your past or by resentment or impatience, and I saw them my way, colored by fear, by pride, by the fact that I am myself and not you." So our memories of what happened were very different from the start. And then before we knew it, memories hardened into myths and then into dogma. Now we find ourselves divided. I always appreciate the fact that there's a division in the middle of the congregation. We can illustrate that. hopefully not really, not metaphorically, but in this space. Now we find ourselves divided. We stare across a chasm, but we don't see each other. We stare across a chasm, but we don't see each other. Parent, partner, friend, child, denomination, nation, race, class, creed. I'm tired of being alone on my side of the chasm. I'm using up so much energy fearing and resenting you. Sometimes I wish you and I could crack the dogma, peel away the mythology, and trade memories. I'm not sure about your family. Maybe it's this way, but in my family, we come to the Thanksgiving table and sometimes there's a chasm right there in the middle of the mashed potatoes. We all have different understandings of how Thanksgiving should be. Some of us want jelly cranberry sauce. The others want the chunky kind. Sounds little, right? But my goodness, that has caused quite a stir across our Thanksgiving table. Sometimes we come to a table with a chasm running through the center. Sometimes our nation feels like it draws a chasm at our borders, preventing people from entering in, from us to see them fully and welcome them whole as they are. If you were here early, perhaps you saw the video that was up here. It was about Jorge Chacon. Jorge Chacon has been in detention for 448 days. Actually, now it's 458 days. He's been in detention for 458 days. Jorge Chacon is married to U.S. citizens, and Jorge Chacon was a dreamer himself. But some stuff happened, and ICE called him in, and he's been in detention for 458 days, and we were rallying, fighting to get him out. So one of the gifts of doing justice work is that sometimes we get to cross that chasm and be with one another face to face. And I had the most astounding experience. We were outside in the rally for Jorge. Many of you here were in that rally as well, and we were fighting to be heard, but then some of us got invited to go inside into the courtroom and to be there present to the court proceedings as they went by. This was a 4-hour court proceeding to try and get Jorge Chacon out of detention. 4 hours. The blessing for me is I got to sit next to his grandmother. I got to sit next to his grandmother, who was crying almost the entire time for her dear one to be released. I got to rest my hand on hers, hold her in that space of waiting. This is an astounding blessing because I got to see what really happens behind walls, and I also got to see a whole lot of red tape. I appreciate the lawyers around the room nodding, because I believe that every single person in that courtroom, no matter what side they were on, were fighting for justice, but they kept getting caught up in red tape and things that they couldn't fix in those moments to get him released. In fact, he had to wait those 10 more days that I added on because the lawyers didn't have enough time in their schedule to continue the hearing the next day. Can you feel that? Someone's been in detention for 458 days. I should never put numbers in my talks because I forget them very easily. Someone's been in detention for that long, and he had to wait 10 more days because people have very packed schedules in our immigration system that they couldn't create time to get him free. It's a heartbreaker. But I bring you this blessing today because Jorge Chacon will be released. We believe on Tuesday. We have every reason to believe that all the red tape has been cut and he will be back among us, whole and free, a part of our society. We welcome him in with thanksgiving.
Nice.
So you hear in these stories part of this nation. Some have to fight with persistence in astounding ways to claim this place as home. It takes persistence to bake a beautiful bread as well. And this bread here before us was baked by members of our congregation. Their hands tended this bread so that you may be fed today. This bread speaks of the persistence of this nation to continually remedy all of its wrongs and to be a welcoming place that honors everyone who comes to our borders. And this bread also speaks of the tremendous gift of community, of coming together with all of our heritage and being one. We're going to invite you in a moment to come forward to the table, come down the side aisles, and come up here. There's gluten-free options right here for folks who need gluten-free. There is one vegan option that may have, right here, there's one vegan option right here. Please come choose the bread that you need today to remind you of the gifts that are among us and within us. Come down the side aisles, come to the table, and